إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله وبعده يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما وبعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. Ikhwani fillah, we continue on with the series of khutbahs, great stories, great lessons. In the last khutbah, we discussed the story as in Sahih Muslim. Abu Huraira radiallahu anhu, he says, جاء رجل إلى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فقال يا رسول الله إني قد أصابني الجهد. O Messenger of Allah, a man came to the Prophet ﷺ and said, O Messenger of Allah, hunger has overcome me. It's too much now. I'm so hungry. فبعث به النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إلى أزواجه. So the Prophet ﷺ sent him to his own houses, to his wives. Go get food from my house. Tell Aisha to give you food. So he goes to Aisha and she says, Wallahi ma indana illa al-ma. We don't have any food. We only have water. So he goes to Salama. Salama, the next wife of the Prophet ﷺ, says same thing. Wallahi ma indana illa al-ma. We don't have any food in this house. It's only water. Then he goes to Habiba, and he goes to Juwayriya, and he goes to Maymuna, to all the 9 wives of the Prophet ﷺ. And all of them give the same reply. We don't have any food. Only water in this house. So he goes back to the Prophet ﷺ. So the Prophet ﷺ, he says to his ashab, Man yadum hadhi al-layla, yarhamuhum Allah. Who is going to take this one as a guest tonight, and Allah will have mercy on him? So one of the Ansari said, Ana ya Rasulallah, I will take him. So he goes to his house and he asks his wife, Ma indaki min qut, what food do you have? And she says, Wallahi ma indana illa qutu sabyan. The only food we have is the dinner for the children. So he says to his wife, Jahizi ta'amaki wa nawwimi sibyanaki. Prepare the food and let the children go to sleep. When they ask for food, let them go to sleep. Don't give them the food. Akrimi dhayfa Rasulillahi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Honor the guest of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And they had a plan. He said, when the guest comes in, act as if you're going to play or to do something to the lamp, but actually turn it off. So when the guest came in and the food was ready and they sat with him, she stood up as if she was fixing the lamp, then she turned it off. And they acted as if they were eating with him, because that was the only food in that house. And they themselves did not eat. They let the guest of the Prophet ﷺ eat. فَبَاتَا طَاوِيَيْنِ, and they slept hungry. In the morning when he went to the Prophet ﷺ, the Prophet ﷺ says, ضَحَكَ اللَّهُ أَوْ عَجَبَ اللَّهُ بِصَنِيعَتِكُمَا اللَّيْلَةِ. Allah laughed and Allah was amazed by what you did last night, you and your wife. And we discussed about that point, al-ithar, giving precedence to your brother. Now today we go back to the first point. He goes to 9 houses of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and there's no food there. Yet we all have no doubt, with complete certainty we know that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the happiest man ever and ever will be. And nobody will have a better life than him. This shows us, ya ikhwan, and I know some of us, we don't like to be reminded of these things. It shows us happiness is not by materialistic things. Happiness, you don't have to have everything to be happy. That is the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and that is one of his companions. Ya Rasulullah, hunger is too much. He says, go to my house. Go to Aisha. She says, there's only water here. Aisha radhiallahu anha, she says, she was talking to Urwa bin Zubair, her nephew. He says, Ya ibn akhti, Ya ibn ukhti, O son of my sister, my nephew. Wallahi, during the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, la ya'ti al-hilal, thumma al-hilal, thumma al-hilal. 3 months will pass, and no fire will be lit in the houses of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. All of them, 9 houses. There'll be no cooking because there's nothing to cook. So he says, Ya Amma, or he says, Ya Khala. So what did you guys used to eat? How did you survive? She says, Bil aswadain, al-ma' wa tamr, water and dates. And we had a neighbor who would milk his sheep and give it to us. It did not take away from their status. They will always and ever be the greatest people alive and the greatest people who ever lived. Aisha radhiallahu anha, she says, the bed of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the bed he used to sleep in, it used to be min adam, min leather. It was made of leather and palm fibers tucked inside that leather. That was the bed he used to sleep in. Aisha radhiallahu anha, she says, Wallahi, ما شبع النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم بخبز وزيت مرتين في أي يوم. There was no day in the life of the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم when he had bread and olive oil twice a day. 2 meals? No. Maybe 1 meal. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud said, one time the Prophet ﷺ was lying down. When we came to him, he got up. فَرَأَيْنَا أَثَرُ الْبِسَاطِ فِي جَنْبِهِ. On his side where he was laying down, the mat he was laying down on, it was very coarse. It was not the high quality carpets you know about. Another narration says, Umar, he cried. He went to the Prophet ﷺ, he said that he saw that. And he looked around the house, he didn't see much. He cried, he said, Ya Rasulullah, the king of Persia and Rome, they are enjoying everything you can get in this world. And you are better than anybody else in front of Allah. The Prophet ﷺ, he says in the hadith of Ibn Mas'ud, Mali walid dunya. What do I have with the dunya? Innama mathali, my example to the dunya kamithlu al-raqib. It's like the one who's traveling, the traveler. فَاسْتَظَلَّ تَحْتَ الشَّجَرَةِ. So he took shade under a tree. ثُمَّ رَاحَ وَتَرَكَهَا. Then he got up and continued on with his journey. He left the tree. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as in Bukhari, he comes to Abdullah ibn Umar and he gets him by his shoulder to bring his attention, because what he's going to speak to him is very important. He took him by his shoulder and says to him, كُن فِي الدُّنْيَا كَأَنَّكَ غَرِيبٌ وَعَابِرُ السَّبِيلِ. Live in this dunya as if you're a stranger or a passerby. A stranger in a strange land, all his focus is to do whatever he can do to get back to his homeland. And the passerby, he is in transit, as we say today. He has his destination. Won't be either of those two. Be a stranger or a passerby. That's why Ibn Umar used to say after that, إِذَا أَصْبَحْتَ فَلَا تَنْتَذِرِ الْمَسَاءِ وَإِذَا أَمْسَيْتَ فَلَا تَنْتَذِرِ الصَّبَاحِ. When you reach the morning, do not speak to yourself and say, I'll reach the evening. And if you reach the evening, you may not reach the morning. One time the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he is walking with his Sahaba on his sides, and he enters the market of Medina. فرأى جدي أسك ميت. And he saw the carcass of a dead sheep whose ears were small. And back then, any sheep or any animal whose ears were small, there is a great devalue in its value. It's worthless. So the Prophet ﷺ, he took hold of this carcass, rotting, it's rotting. And he said, أَيُّكُمْ يُحِبُّ هَذَا بِدِرْهَمْ? Who is going to buy this one by 1 dirham? They said, Ya Rasulullah, and what are we going to do with this? Then he says to them, which one of you loves that this one belongs to him? And they said, Ya Rasulullah, لو كان حيا لكان عيبا فيه أسك. If he was alive, it has a deficiency. It has short ears. Now it's dead, it's rotting. Who wants this? فقال صلى الله عليه وسلم للدنيا أهون على الله من هذه منكم. The dunya in front of Allah's eyes is much more less valued than this one is to you. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, لو أن أحدكم, if one of you, he put his fingers, إصبعيه, في اليم, in a river or in an ocean, and he took out what he took out, that is the same compared to the akhirah, to the dunya. That one drop to the whole ocean. The dunya is that much valued compared to the akhirah. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ikhwan, بَلْ تُؤْثِرُونَ الْحَيَاةَ الدُّنْيَا. But the human being, the shaitan plays with you. You prefer this world. بَلْ تُحِبُّونَ الْعَاجِلَةِ. You love this ajila, you want things right away. وَتَذَرُونَ الْآخِرَةِ. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, صلاح هذه الأمة صلاح أول هذه الأمة بالزهد واليقين. The rectification and the goodness of the first part of this ummah was by zuhd, not caring about the dunya, and yaqeen, having certainty that whatever is coming is coming. وهلاك آخر هذه الأمة, and the thing which will destroy the last part of this ummah, we are part of those, by the way, al-bukhl wa tulul amal. Al-bukhl, stinginess. Wa tulul amal, and you always say to yourself, I have a long life. I have a long life. That's what destroys us, me and you. Ikhwani fillah, Abu Dharr radiyallahu anhu, he says, one time I was sitting with the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. فَمَرَّ بِيَ الرَّجُلُ. Or before that he said, so the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said to me, Ya Abu Dharr, O Abu Dharr, how do you perceive richness? Is it by having a lot of wealth, a lot of money, dollars? And he said, yes, Ya Rasulullah. Richness is by having a lot of wealth. And how do you perceive poverty? By having nothing? He says, yes. So the Prophet ﷺ teaches him and us, me and you, إِنَّمَا الْغِنَى غِنَى الْقَلْبِ. Richness is richness of the heart. If you're not rich in the heart, wallah, you can have billions. You'll always suffer. Ask yourself, how come the richest people, musicians and actors and whatever, they always don't die natural deaths? They always kill themselves with all the money they had. Ask yourself, where did Fir'aun go? He had everything you will never have. Except if Allah wants. Where did Qarun go? This dunya, it has taken us out of focus. So then the Prophet ﷺ said to Abu Dharr, when they were sitting, somebody passed by them, and he said, Ya Abu Dharr, ما تقول في هذا? What do you say about this guy? The Prophet ﷺ is asking Abu Dharr, what do you say about him? He said, Ya Rasulullah, هذا من أشراف المسلمين. This is from the noble people, respected. إنه إن خطب, if he went to propose today, he'd get married. Right away, people get him married. وإن شفع يشفع, and if he interceded for somebody, people will listen to him. And if he goes to knock on any house, they'll greet him right away and welcome him. So the Prophet ﷺ kept quiet. And they were sitting. So then another person walks by. The Prophet ﷺ says, Ya Abu Dharr, ma qawluka fi hadha? What do you say about this one? He said, Ya Rasulullah, هذا من فقراء المهاجرين. It's from the poor muhajirin. In khatab lam yunkah. Even if you went to propose, he'll be rejected, like how most of us we do today. And if he goes to intercede for somebody, nobody will listen to him. And if he says anything, nobody will take his statement. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says to him and us, Wallahi la hadha khayrun inda Allah min mil'il ardi hadha. This one in front of Allah is better than a whole earth. 6 billion people worth of these ones. These ones, multiply him by 6 billion. The number we have today, they are not equal to this one in front of Allah. It's not about somebody's appearance. It's not about somebody's paycheck. It's not about somebody's rest. Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. The best of you are those who are most pious. In Islam, we have a different criteria of judging people. He prays, he fasts, he doesn't backbite people, he's a good Muslim. That's the one we love. Like in the dunya, even our focus has been changed. We have to check our souls, ya ikhwan. We have to check our souls. Most of us, we fall into that. We need to reevaluate our priorities. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, for those of us who think running after the dunya is what is going to get you rich, listen to me carefully. He says, Man kanat ad-dunya hammuhu, the one whom the dunya is his main concern. All you think of when you get up, when you sleep, is the dunya. You don't care you prayed salah, how you prayed, did you fast, did you talk to your mom today, have you called her in the last 3 months, had you helped the orphans? You don't care about that. All you care about is your work and your money and your paycheck. Man kanat ad-dunya akbaru hammu, or man kanat ad-dunya hammu, farraqa Allahu amrahu. As a punishment in this world, Allah will make your matters dispersed. You'll never be able to focus. You'll always be stressed, simply. وَجَعَلَ فَقْرَهُ بَيْنَ عَيْنَيْهِ. And Allah will make you feel always you're becoming poor. Always you're becoming poor. You become a slave of the dunya. وَلَمْ يَأْتِهِ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا إِلَّا مَا كُتِبَ لَهُ. And nothing will come to you, no matter how much you work. Nothing will come to you except what has been written for you. وَمَنْ كَانَتْ آخِرَتُهُ نِيَّتَهُ. And the one whom the akhirah is his main concern. جَمَّعَ اللَّهُ أَمْرَهُ. Allah brings his matters close to him and he's focused. وَجَعَلَ غِنَاهُ بَيْنَ عَيْنَيْهِ. And Allah makes him feel content every time, even if he doesn't have the best life, like the Prophet ﷺ. There's no food in this house, only water. Lakin he was content. He used to be the richest person at heart. The one who's the akhirah is his main concern, Allah makes the contentment in his heart. وَيَأْتِيهِ الدُّنْيَا وَهِيَ رَاغِمَةٌ. And the dunya will come to him, but to him when it comes, it's nothing. He doesn't really care about that. It came, it didn't come, alhamdulillah. Ikhwani fillah. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, again, if you really want to benefit in this life, the Muslim, he enjoys this life and the next life. But listen to me again. Enjoyment does not mean a lot of wealth. Because the Muslim enjoys this life. The Prophet ﷺ enjoyed this life. Don't forget what you are created for. What is the purpose of this life? وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. And one of the wise men, he said, think of your life as a river. You know, any river, it has the tributaries. The small rivulets, it breaks off, then it becomes one big river, right or wrong? The big river, the main river, is for you to worship Allah. Everything else, work and play and your family, it should lead to that river. If it does not lead back to that river, then you are destroyed. Islam does not say don't work. Islam does not say don't enjoy a good life. But Islam says, don't let the life delude you. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تغرنكم الحياة الدنيا وَلَيَغُرَّنَّكُمْ بِاللَّهِ الْغَرُورُ. O you who believe, let not the life of this world deceive you. Because it's a deception. It's a deception. The Prophet ﷺ said, إِنَّ الدُّنْيَا حُلْوَةٌ خَضِرَةٌ. This dunya is green and beautiful. You get attracted to it. وَإِنَّ اللَّهَ مُسْتَخْلِفُكُمْ فِيهِ. And Allah has just put you here. You are in charge. فَيَنْظُرُ مَاذَا تَعْمَلُونَ. He looks at you. What are you doing? The Prophet ﷺ used to make dua, Allahumma la taj'al ad-dunya akbara hammi. Do not make the dunya my main concern. You should be concerned. You have to pay rent. You have to eat. But not let that be your main concern. That the dunya takes you out, even praying the 5 daily salahs. The Prophet ﷺ says, Allah will make poverty in front of his eyes. Every time you think you're going bankrupt, you become a slave. That's why he said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Tuba, O qad aflaha man aslam. He has been successful, the one who becomes a Muslim. Wa ruziqa qifafan. And he is given the rizq which is enough. Wa qad na'ahu Allahu bima atah. And Allah gives him qana'a, contentment. That is what is most important. You said, this is enough, alhamdulillah. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لكم فاستغفروه. الحمد لله رب العالمين وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله وبعد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت وباركت على إبراهيم وآل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. إخواني في الله, we are all travelers. Everybody should ask himself what he is taking. Again, don't misunderstand me. Islam does not say lock up yourself in the masjid 24/7. Islam does not say that. You have to earn a living. But don't let that be your main concern, such that it takes you away from your main concern, which is to worship Allah. You have thousands of dollars in the bank, and your own family is starving. There's orphans in your own close family. There's poor people. There's widows. The Prophet ﷺ, he says, هَلَكَ الْمُكَثِّرُونَ or هَلَكَ الْمُكْثِرُونَ. They have been destroyed. Those who just gather wealth. He wants to see how much I have. إِلَّا مَنْ قَالَ هَذَا وَهَكَذَا وَهَكَذَا. Except the one who has much wealth, but he just does like that. He gives this one and this one and this one. The Prophet Abdullah ibn Shaikh, he says, I came to the Prophet ﷺ one time, and he was reciting the ayahs, Alhaakumut takathur. You have been diverted from your main focus because of gathering wealth. Hatta zurtumul maqabir, until you visit the graves. Pay attention. Allah said, until you visit the graves, because you'll be a visitor. Everybody will die here, and everybody will go to the grave, and you're just a visitor, because after that there's Qiyamah. You have been diverted by the gathering of wealth. After reading these verses, the Prophet ﷺ says, يَقُولُ ابْنُ آدَمْ مَالِي مَالِي. Ibn Adam say, my wealth, I have this, I have that. وَهَلْ لَكَ مِن مَالِكَ إِلَّا مَا أَكَلْتَ فَأَفْنَيْتَ. Do you really have wealth? Your wealth is what you ate and you went to the washroom. That is yours. أَوْ لَبَسْتَ فَأَبْلَيْتَ. Or the one which you have worn. أَوْ تَصَدَّقْتَ فَأَمْدَيْتَ. Or the one which you have given in sadaqah. It has gone with Allah. That is yours. Whatever's left is not yours. Now what is most strange? The consequences of this, the consequences. Why we are suffering as an ummah, as a community. Why there's so many divorces in our community. Why there's so many problems. Every single day there has to be divorce problems. 3, 4, 5 every single day. Because we don't have the priorities. We lost focus. We lost focus. The Prophet ﷺ, he says, إِذَا أَتَاكُمْ مَنْ تَرْضَوْنَ دِينَهُ وَخُلُقَهُ فَزَوِّجُوهُ. You know why Muslims are suffering? You know why Muslim women, teenagers, 18, 19-year-olds are pregnant with babies of non-Muslims? You want stories? I'll share stories with you. You know why? Because you as parents, as brothers, you are to blame also. You changed the scale, you lost focus. إِذَا جَاءَكُمْ مَنْ تَرْضَوْنَ دِينَهُ وَخُلُقَهُ. When somebody comes to propose and you're pleased, this is the criteria. You're pleased with his deen. He's somebody upon the sunnah, alhamdulillah. وَخُلُقَهُ, and his manners are good. فَزَوِّجُوهُ, your prophet says to you, get him married. فَإِن لَمْ تَفْعَلُوا, if you don't do that, like how we don't do, not just us, everyone in the Muslim world. The first thing you ask is that how much you earn? What job do you have? How much are you going to give my daughter every month as her commission? What is this? Is she employed? فَزَوِّجُوهُ, get him married. فَإِن لَمْ تَفْعَلُوا, when we don't do that, like how we don't do today, تَكُنْ فِتْنَةٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ وَفَسَادٌ كَبِيرٌ. There'll be so much fitna and so much corruption. There's one sister who called me. I'm sorry, I have to take some of your time. She said, Shaikh, there's my friend who came to me yesterday and said, I am pregnant. And I made a mistake. I congratulated her. She's not married, of course. Now I know I made a mistake. What should I do? I said, you just do make tawbah. And what you're supposed to advise your friend. So she hung up. After 10 minutes, she called again. He said, Shaikh, I want to be honest. I lied. That was my sister. And we are Muslims. And the person she got married from is a Christian. And right now, my stepfather, he is encouraging her to move in with that Christian man. This is what the Muslims have become today. You lost focus. We don't care anymore. As long as she'll get a good living and he's rich enough, he drives a good car, then let her go there, right? A'udhu billah. There is one. There is more greater than that. Ikhwani fillah, we have to learn this deen to appreciate it. You have to stay focused. إِنَّمَا تُوعَدُونَ لَآتٍ. What you have been promised is coming. What you have been promised is coming. The Prophet ﷺ says, أصدق بيت الشعر, the best poetry line ever is the line of Labid. And he said, ألا كل شيء وكل شيء ما خلا الله باطل. Everything except Allah, it will end. Everything. We have to learn. We have to refocus. We are not bad, alhamdulillah. Most of us are not bad, Allah. But we just lost focus. We have to come back and focus. نسأل الله العظيم رب العرش الكريم يغفر لنا ذنوبنا ويكفر عنا سيئاتنا. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا اغفر لنا ولإخواننا الذين سبقونا بالإيمان ولا تجعل في قلوبنا غلا للذين آمنوا ربنا إنك رؤوف رحيم.